Welcome to the Her Story Circle podcast, the podcast that brings you the extraordinary tales of everyday women who are changing the world. I'm your host, Gertrude Mache, and I'd like to acknowledge traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today. I also like to pay my respects to elders, past, present, and emerging. Every week, we dive into the lives, challenges, and triumphs of women from all four corners of the globe. We're here to inspire, enlighten, and connect, sharing stories that uplift and empower. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and join us as we explore the incredible journeys of women shaping our future. This is Her Story, where every woman's voice matters. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Her Story Circle. This is Gertrude Mache here in beautiful Melbourne, Australia. And today I am graced with the presence of yet another interesting woman. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our tribe. Please tell everybody your full name, where you're based, and share your story with us today.
Well, thank you so much, Gertrude. And my name is Glenis Gassmann, and I'm from the wonderful Gold Coast in Australia. And today I want to share with you my story of how I had the courage to leave a secure accounting job and actually start up my own business way back in 1993, many, many moons ago. And, you know, that resulted from where I am now. But like there's a little bit of a journey along the way, a little bit of courage, determination that got me there. And it all started when my daughter actually got chickenpox and she wasn't at school. I had no support from a family around me. And I was in a really great position working with an accounting firm in Brisbane. And I needed to take a couple of weeks off and there was no internet. And my boss, he actually made it quite difficult for me, but I took the couple of weeks off. And in those 2 weeks, I decided that from now on, this was going to be my control and I was creating a business. It was only a couple of months later and I gave up the secure accounting job and a high income as well. And I redid my garage into an office. And I put my shingle up outside and I said, basically, you know, if you want to get your tax return done, come and see me. And I also, what I had done at that time was I had taught myself a wonderful little package called MYOB. And what I had done is I found this little 3.25 inch floppy disk, I think it was in those days. And I'd learned how to use that accounting system and by putting my own business, my own personal records on there. And so I was quite equipped. So I put an ad in the newspaper and I said to any business owner, do you want to convert your paper records to computing records? And I did that. And I was getting phone calls after phone calls. So between doing people's tax returns and traveling out to different people's business places around Brisbane, I taught them how to use MYOB and converted their records from paper records to computer records, saving them lots of time and making their business more efficient. But along the way, we got talking. And when they found out that I was an accountant, they said, well, we'd like you to do our accounting records. And so from that moment, I started my accounting practice. And I grew that practice to 15 staff. In about 15 years, I was there before I changed careers. But I had a wonderful time and I had lots of businesses. So I actually started from zero and I ended up with over 100 small business clients, which in the world of a sole practitioner is quite a lot when you're doing more than just tax returns. After about 7 years, I saw that there was a pattern creeping in from a lot of business owners They weren't growing. They were wanting more cash flow, more profits, and they just didn't know how to do it. And you would give them advice, but they just wouldn't go and take the actions. So I decided that I needed to actually put a coaching business in behind my accounting business, and to flip your thought process from an accountant who's always providing solutions to a coach where you're not providing solutions, but you're eliciting the solution out of your actual client. That was a big mindset shift that I went through. But I did that, and I actually brought into a franchise for accountants coaching business. And we had a great time here in Brisbane and the Northern Gold Coast doing that. I won innovation awards with the Queensland government, which was really great. However, it was group coaching. So in that time, way back in 2008, we did group coaching, and I had 4 groups of 8 business owners, and they had a curriculum to go through over 18 months. We got great results for them. It was perfect. However, I found that getting a replacement for me in the accounting firm was difficult. And so I was getting burnt out at both ends. So I decided something had to go. So I sold my accounting practice in 2012 to a practice that actually could offer more to my clients around the accounting arena, so I could continue with the coaching with them. And I did that for another 3 years, up to about 2015. I realized that I needed to get online. I needed to have a coaching business that was virtual, and I needed to do that around the world. So I found a company in the US who did that, and I became one of their coaches, and that grew the accounting practice. Grew the coaching business quite substantially, to a point where I was actually needing other coaches to come on and help me coach the clients. So then my main journey then became a coach of coaches. So I was coaching business coaches throughout 2018 from right through till now, as well as some small business clients that has been with me since 2010. So, and you become their everything, their coach, their CFO, their COO, everything. But there was a bit of a pattern that I was seeing amongst everyone, and that was they had great ideas, and you could talk to them about the great ideas and put plans in place to get them implemented, but they failed to execute a lot of the time. And a lot of business owners also felt that there needed to be some big overhaul of their system, or a big mindset shift, or a big personality change to get, a 20%, 50% growth in their business to provide that cash flow. Because a lot of small business owners, they have actually put their life on the line, which what I found was that, they invested heavily in their business. They knew what to do in their business. They're not short of ideas, but actually having that business work and become more profitable than actually working for someone and getting superannuation paid every week, they were few and far between. So I decided that, I needed to educate these business owners that it's not the Big Bang Theory. This is all about taking small, consistent actions over periods of time that will actually get you to where you want to get to. And that became the core context of the book that I have just put out, which is Why Knowing Isn't Enough. And it's out on Amazon now. And it was featured in the London Times yesterday as well. So, we're very fortunate to have people who actually see that this is something that's needed now. We are in an information age, and we get lots of information all the time. Nothing wrong with that. But are we actually putting in place the information that we've got to actually make the difference that we need in our business and our lives? So sometimes people get confused with being busy is actually, like success, but it's not. It's actually, a lot of people are busy in busyness. And So I just found that most people, needed a bit of help bringing their ideas out and then implementing those ideas. So I myself personally, I've joined many masterminds, many groups for short periods of time. And I've got one project that I want to actually get off the ground. And it's with the dynamic of the other people and with actually just focusing on that one thing over periods of time that will actually get that traction and build that momentum. So look, some of the things that I say to people is like, your big dreams fail, but tiny actions win, which I think is really apt for the book and for small business owners today. And success isn't about, like what it's about what you do with what you know. And I've learned all of these things along the way. Momentum is built in moments. So Gertrude, that was sort of like my story so far, and it hasn't finished yet.
Oh, I absolutely love it. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I was so intrigued by the article. I think I'm going to start there. And congratulations for being featured in this prestigious publication.
Thank you.
Now, in your book, Why Knowing Isn't Enough, you emphasize that many business owners plan, visualize, and strategize, but they rarely follow through.
Mm.
What do you believe is the most common factor that keeps entrepreneurs stuck in this planning phase? And how does your success shift specifically tackle that?
Yeah, good question. Thanks for that.
Mm.
There's a multitude of them, but I actually find that it's the 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 thing that stands out to me the most is the self-doubt. It's that self-doubt that creeps in. You've got a great idea, it works, you've tried it, you've tested it, but oh, look, is the world ready for it? And there's that self-doubt that creeps in. So how do I tackle that? So what I do is I empower and I enable people. So, like I listen for that idea. We ensure that it's going to work. I actually believe the business owner knows exactly what they're talking about. They've done their numbers, they know. And it's all about empowering and enabling that business owner to take some actions every day towards it. Because we can sometimes get overwhelmed with like the big picture and the big plan, because we in our own mind we go, oh, this is amazing, this is going to work, this is going to actually help so many people, and we get carried away in our own mind, and then we get stopped, go, oh, what if it doesn't? So just taking those small actions over periods of time. So it is a little bit of accountability, but it's not, crack the whip accountability. This is about people want to talk to me and go, okay, this is what I did last week and I got this result. So they start getting like little momentum wins, and that
Yes.
brings back, that just eliminates self-doubt. Yeah.
So it almost sounds to me like when you are starting a business, you need to reverse engineer what can go wrong. The thing is, we know what we know as entrepreneurs. We don't know what our customer needs to know. So really going through and doing a brainstorm, what are the things that could make my business fail? And then build the business on that possibility. I think you will hit your mark a little bit better than just winging it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You've always got to put in those things that possibly could turn up. We don't really want to focus on them, but we need to actually have them in our vision. Okay, we need to know what possibly could be coming in, and we have, like contingency plans and things in place, ready just to pick up and go, okay, well, we're not going that way, we're going to pivot this way. I mean, how many times did we have to pivot around 2020, 21, right? So, I was teaching business coaches how to use Zoom in 2020, 21, because they were so used to going out and traveling to
Yeah.
people that, and then that opened up the world. They go, oh, well, I could actually coach people away over in England. Yeah, you could.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's opening your eyes. And sometimes we have to have these pivots to actually see what else is possible.
Yeah. Yeah, I must say COVID definitely flattened the world, especially for those people who are in the coaching world. The world's at your fingertips right now. So let
Yeah.
me ask you now about, you call your work a no fluff guide to closing the gap between ambition and execution. And
Yep.
you argue that entrepreneurs don't need more strategy, they need momentum. So, what practical steps or mindset shifts do you
Mm.
encourage your clients to adapt to build that kind of forward motion?
Well, firstly, we've got to write down this idea. We've got to capture it. We want to really know everything all about it. So we've got to get it clear. We've got to have some clarity around what it is and what we're wanting to achieve. All right.
Yeah.
So, firstly, get the clarity. Then we've got to share it. So that's why I say, like, just not for new businesses, for any business, whether you're at a baby stage, a toddler, whether you're like a teenager or whether you're mature age business, right?
Mhm.
You need to have a mentor, coach, someone to share this idea and someone to actually hold you accountable to it, because you're not. You're going to
Yes.
let yourself off the hook all the time, right? And
That's
and
true.
yeah, and so you've got to create some level of accountability. If you're that passionate about your project, you will actually you'll want this level of accountability, because you'll start to see that you'll let yourself off the hook. It's a bit
Yeah.
like going to gym, getting up in the morning, putting your gym shoes on that cold morning. Who wants to do that,
Nobody
right?
wants to do
And
that.
then what that does is you got to take one action. So when you've written it down, you've shared it with many people, you've got to take one action within 24 hours of you doing that. Right? Just
Mhm.
one action, because then that tells you and your mindset, I can do this. And then the next day you take another action. And there only has to be a 10-minute action. Could be a
Yeah.
phone call. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be something very big. It's just moving in the direction of your dream or your vision.
It's what I said, momentum is built with moments.
Yeah, yeah, I love
Small
that.
ones. Yeah.
Now, the article also highlights your focus on helping readers rebuild self-trust through these small, powerful commitments and to move from stuck to unstoppable. I really like that. Can you share an example of how a seemingly small action led to a major breakthrough for one of your clients and why those micro steps were so pivotal?
Yeah. Actually, I can tell you about me, because like this is so raw for me still.
Yeah.
And that was, I had gone through quite a lot of change around about 2012 to 2015. There was a separation, and there was a whole lot of stuff going on. And I had moved, I was in a different locality, and I was looking for more clients. And I thought I wanted some local people. I wanted to meet local people, get out, and that sort of thing. So as an accountant, you don't actually have to go out and look for clients. Most clients come to you, and then there's referrals, right? So what I had to do was I had to make, this is what I told myself, I had to make at least 10 calls a day, or I had to do at least 2 hours worth of connecting with people, either on the phone or out at a networking group. And I had to do that 4 days a week. I had the 5th day free. I was allowed, that was my bonus if I had done it for the 4 days. And I did that for 3 months, right? I started off, there was still about 5 clients that I had at that time. And after 3 months, I was doing invoices for 17 clients. Some of them were in groups, so I wasn't coaching 17 businesses all at once, right? Because that's quite big. So yeah, that is just consistent action over time. And all it took was 2 hours a day, Monday to Thursday.
Yeah.
And I still remember the Monday mornings I'd get up and I'd go for a walk around South Bank in Brisbane, and I'd come back and go, right, 9 o'clock, I got to put my headphones on and I got to dial, and I'd bring up Google on the screen and go, right, I want to talk to printing people, printing businesses in Brisbane, Toowoomba and the Gold Coast. You know,
Oh,
just
wow.
that brought me 3 new clients that were printers, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Um, yeah, that's the power of having that self-discipline and not letting yourself off the hook. As soon as you let yourself off the hook, just small things like that the self-doubt creeps in. It's called
yes,
a lack of integrity to yourself. And
yeah, yeah.
we don't notice it. We just don't notice it. So yeah, I'm a firm believer of writing down an integrity list once a month also. So I don't think I put that in the book, but yeah, I write down an integrity list every month and I go, right, these are the things I need to do, because integrity is like, you never get to the top.
Yeah.
Like if you bring integrity in one area, you can be out in other areas, you know? So it's just an ongoing thing, but you're always moving forwards.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love that.
that's what we need. Yeah.
So I know that you come from my country of citizenship, New Zealand. What
Yes.
was growing up in a large family in Dunedin like, and how did that shape your resilience?
Interesting. That's a great question. We had a lot of great family times in Dunedin. We loved camping at Queenstown and Wanaka, which are big tourist spots now. But back then,
Yes.
I used to, I was back there not so long ago, and we were joking how that I would get 50 cents if I jumped into Lake Wakatit because it was so cold, right?
Oh,
I did it just for the money. Isn't that terrible?
oh, that's funny.
But look, it was great. We had a lot of great family times, great Christmases and that. And of course, I'm number 9 in a family of 10. So a lot of them are a lot older than me at the moment. And so now, there's some sickness, there's some illness, there's some deaths in the family. And
Yeah.
but I came over here in 23, when I was 23, into Australia,
Okay.
because my parents had actually died. And it was like, okay, the rest of my brothers and sisters are all taken care of. They got their lives. But what am I doing? And so I came over here for a holiday and actually never went back. So
Oh, oh,
yeah, but I still do go back every 2 years at least. We have family
yeah.
reunions. And you're very family orientated, always have been, always will be. I think I've got about 27 nephews and nieces, and probably about 45, I think, right now, great nephews and nieces. Yeah. So
That's a large family.
it is. It's great. I love it.
Oh,
We all get together, and unfortunately, the last couple of times I've been there, the context of getting together hasn't been good.
yeah.
But when you get together, you just there's nothing between you. You're just connected.
Just
You
pick
just
up from where you left off.
absolutely, yeah, yeah.
That. Now,
Lots of fun.
losing both your parents at 21 must have been life altering. How
Yeah,
did that experience impact your drive and independence?
oh, I see it all the time. Like I'm completely independent. I don't say I don't need anyone, but in fact, I do. Like you do, and but it made me very resourceful, independent, and aware of life.
Mm,
And today I'm still very like live in the present. Yesterday's gone. Tomorrow's, what's possible. So I
yeah,
always definitely live for today and make the most out of today, who I'm with, and I try to keep that independence root in me, just under control, and let others contribute to me as well as much as I can contribute to them, because that's
yeah.
the power. Yeah, that's the power.
I can see where you got that streak of independence. You had to grow up really fast.
It does.
Now,
Yeah.
you completed degrees in computer science and accounting. How did education help you build your business?
Mm, good question. Well, I had to. I loved computers. back in the 80s. I was in Sydney, and I did that computer course, and I loved it. And when I started work in Brisbane after I had our 2 children in the 90s, I just wasn't sure if I wanted to go. I love numbers too, right? So I ended up working in an accounting practice, and I was able to bring my technology skills and computing skills to automate the accounting practice that I was working in. And he was a sole practitioner, so he loved the fact that I could automate his office and get everything efficient through technology. For me to be taken seriously back in the 90s as an accountant and have my own practice, I actually had to get a degree, because if I didn't have a degree, well, firstly, I couldn't open up an accounting practice, but there wasn't a lot of female accountants, running their own practice back in the 90s. Right. And when I actually joined the accountants coaching group, there was about 85 of us across Australia and New Zealand, accountants all in one coaching club, it was called. And and we actually had the second year after I joined, we had a conference in Queenstown, and we all went there, and there's 5 major awards, and I won 3 of them, and I was the smallest practice. And that came from efficiencies through computing. So that, I won the best debtor days, best work in progress days, and there was something else, best service technology, and out of 5. And there was all these large accounting firms in the coaching club, and they were going, who's this girl? Who's this woman? And I'd won 3 out of the 5 awards. That's sort of what put me on the map in the accounting world in Australia, New Zealand. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
So education is important. In answer to your question there, education is really important to get you to where you need to get to, but it's your own ability to be able to provide exceptional service or exceptional products to others that actually takes you further.
I love it. Now let me end with one last question.
Yes.
A lot of women struggle with balancing work and children. You made a deliberate decision to put your child first, and it turned into an amazing life and an amazing career. So if you could go back and give yourself 3 nuggets of wisdom, just in case there's a woman who is online right now, is wondering whether she should make that decision or not, what would those 3 nuggets of wisdom be?
I would say trust your gut. You really need to trust your gut. You got to do what's right for you and your family, and then take small actions every day to where you want to get to.
Absolutely beautiful, Glenis. Thank you so much for coming online and sharing your amazing story with us today. Good luck with the book. I'm pretty sure you're going to be changing lives now that you've put your knowledge between those pages. It can go out and reach more people. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much for having me here today. It was a pleasure talking with you and sharing my story with all your listeners. And I wish you all the best.
And thank you to everybody who tuned in. The Her Story Circle is not just a podcast. We're a social impact movement that brings you the stories and voices of women from all over the world. We share our stories to uplift you, to inspire you, to energize you, but most importantly, to help take you from where you are now to where you're trying to go. So if you are somebody who's starting a new business, you're needing advice, you're needing coaching, here is an amazing woman who can handhold you all the way. So please reach out to Glenis. She's there to support and help. And I will be back again tomorrow, everybody, with yet another amazing guest. In the meantime, have a fantastic day, morning, or evening, wherever you are in the world, and bye for now. And thanks again, Glenis.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for tuning into the Her Story Circle podcast. I hope today's story has inspired you to believe in the power of our stories and the difference you can make in the world when you use your voice. I'm Gertrude Mache, and it's been an honor to share this space with you, where voices from all walks of life come together to weave a rich tapestry of diverse perspectives. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast to help us share these stories with more listeners. Follow us on social media by looking for the Her Story Circle podcast for more updates. And join us tomorrow for another episode filled with courage, resilience, and empowerment. Remember, your story matters, and together we're building a stronger, more inclusive world. Until next time, keep making her story.